Hey, everybody, July 7th, 2017, special report. Meteor has apparently exploded on the moon. A small asteroid, very small one, 56,000 mile collision. It was a rock that was weighing about 88 pounds. It was a gigantic blast because, when you have such a high speed meteor, that's where it hit, and that's what it looked like on the surface of the moon. Now, I don't ever remember, actually, in my lifetime, an asteroid hitting the moon. Do you guys? I don't. And then, of course, that brings up the Chelyabinsk incident and so forth. But here's the video real quick. Let me show this to you, okay? It's just a short one.
On March 17th, 2013, an object about the size of a small boulder hit the lunar surface in Mare Imbrium. Anyone looking at the moon at the moment of impact could have seen the explosion. No telescope required. For about 1 second, the impact site was glowing like a fourth magnitude star.
There you go. So, asteroids, right? And just wanted to put that out there. Second thing I wanted to show you, too, was the storms in Michigan have been unbelievable. And this is just in the United States. Have you seen what's happening in China lately, guys? Check this out. Southern China has been so amazing that people are dying. It's bad. So you take the weather events, you take the asteroids. This is the close approach within 100 lunar distances of the Earth, and this is just one of the places you can look at it, and it basically shows that. And the thing that you'll see is that while there's a lot of asteroids that come kind of close from a lunar distance perspective, what's more interesting is the number of objects that they've discovered in 2016 and 2017, which is the majority. I think the last time I did an analysis of it, it was something like 90% of the asteroids were discovered in the last 2 years. So again, when you see an asteroid hitting the moon, I've never seen that before in my life. It is a reason for concern. So something to take a look at and keep a close eye on. I thought I'd show you this July 6th Cleveland film, because what it shows, let me get that X out of the middle, what it shows is exactly what my theory is, that in that portion of the sky, there's that hold object, and then here's that big red one. And I'll just zoom in on this. Look at how that thing tumbles behind the sun. There's no way that is a freaking lens flare, guys. It was tumbling in behind the sun. And then as it comes back out again, you can see it again back here. So again, it's interesting. Again, the big story though, moon struck by asteroid. Special report, July 7th, 2017.
Hi, Steve. Just check. I normally don't check the Canadian weather cams because they're so funky looking, but I'm noticing this little character. At first I thought, well, maybe it is a spot on their lens or a close-up of a bug, but look what it does. It's getting bigger and moving. And then there's that little orb with the little hole in it. I can't blow it up very much on my computer, but there it is. Oh, there's a new one. Now that's a lens flare. It gets a little lighter, but you can see that it's still there. You really don't go away until that line is right on top of it. Then you can't see it.
It's Steve Olson. It's
but
Sunday,
anyway,
July 9th, 2017. Just kind of finishing my day up and thought I'd do a little quick video for everybody just to kind of say hi and check in. The first thing I want to talk about today is the whole issue of lens flaring, right? The word lens flare is a psyop. It's just like conspiracy theorist. It's just like fake news. Any of those terms, lens flare is one of those terms. Because here's why. They know, scientists know, people that study photography know, that there's information in lens flares because a lens flare is a reflection. The powers that be, in my opinion, knew that they were going to have to try to hide this system from us, and they knew that they were going to use certain systems that were still susceptible to lens flare photography. In other words, you would still see the objects with lens flares, and so they right away wanted to head it off with this idea that anything that you see in a camera that looks like a lens flare is automatically not something to look at. And I beg to differ, guys. I think that these quote-unquote lens flares are actually our little insight into what's up in the sky. Now, you can say that the sun has a lens flare, but what do you say to a picture like this from Thibodaux, Louisiana? What is that a lens flare? Is that orange cloud in the sky some kind of a lens flare? Is that what you're trying to tell me? So what they try to do is they try to invalidate a whole category of research by just saying lens flare, just like I can invalidate most truthers by just saying, oh, that's a conspiracy theorist. Lens flare, conspiracy theorist, same exact idea, okay? Oh, here's a picture from Dubai, by the way, with that weird sun. It almost started to do that halo effect that we saw in Japan a little bit. But let me take you to the United States Patent Office here again, and I want to show you something. This is the system, illumination system, including a virtual light source. And everybody tells us that it's ridiculous that there would be any kind of a illumination system or simulation system in the sky. And I say to you, then why is there a patent? And look at this paragraph. In a sun simulator, it is desirable to provide the means for varying the intensity of illumination over a relatively wide range without the change in the spectral distribution of the illumination, so that the simulator may be used to simulate not only sunlight, but also earthlight and moonlight. Are you listening? In order to provide sufficient illumination to simulate sunlight over a practically large area, it is necessary to employ plural light sources, and it is desirable to control the intensity of illumination by varying the number of light sources that are energized, thereby avoiding changes in the spectral distribution of the light output of the simulator and maintaining a relatively high degree of efficiency. It is also desirable to avoid localized field darkening effects caused, which we've been noticing, because when that artificial sun's shining in one area, you'll get localized field darkening effects, and this is what we've been seeing in our cameras, caused by the selective extinguishment of the individual light sources and to maintain uniformity of illumination over the entire field which the illuminator is directed. And again, this is from the patent on NASA STAR in 1966, and this is just a page out of the book. And they're talking about simulating moonlight, simulating sunlight. Really? Why? Why would they even be thinking about this? Why would this even be a freaking patent? Why would NASA even be even thinking about this, guys? That's right, because they knew that they were going to need it someday. Why is Germany building a huge sun simulator? It's public. It's public knowledge. Think about it, guys. I mean, just because it doesn't sound right doesn't mean it's not true. Now, here's an interesting picture, because this is what happens in a airplane, by the way. The light will actually reflect on the inside of that little double mirror on the sun. So it's really hard to tell if this is a good picture or not. But what I did think that was interesting about it is that it's completely separated away from the sun, and there's three lights instead of one, which is what we would typically see in the sun. And then we've seen this gentleman's backyard photography from his camera before. But in this particular case from yesterday, it's moving from left to right, and it's those two big orbs on there, man. A lens flare reflection is not going to. The sun's sunspots are not there. So if it's a reflection of it's not a reflection of the sun. Okay. Now check out. We got some heat lightning. What would typically be known as heat lightning. Mm-hmm. And here's actually this is the red moon that my friend Eternity Now got yesterday out there doing some telescopic work.
Hey Steve, check this out.
Yeah.
Check it out, Steve. My daughter's with me here. Check it out. There's the moon.
Right? Right?
No, it's not a light in my bathroom with a towel over the top of it.
He's always making
it's not my figment of my imagination. No, it's not an orange in a closet. There it is. Look at that, baby.
It's as red as can be, isn't it?
I'll send some photos with this.
Yeah, he sent some really good photos. And then here's the photography of that weird lightning. And I saw it last night in Idaho. And it was weird because there was no thunderheads or anything like that. And same thing with this. And the reason that we watch this electrical activity is, just check this out, guys. I want to show you something and just have you think about it. Give me 1 second here. I just picked out a random article, okay? And this is about Alberta yesterday, or 2 days ago, and this was about a squirrel that got into the substation. Now, I'm just about sick of hearing about squirrels getting into substations. You really believe that a substation with 40,000 volts can be so easily taken out by a squirrel? Yeah, it happens once in a great while. An animal will get in there and cause some problems. The reason why we're seeing so many electrical outages, why we're seeing so many wildfires, why we're seeing such intense heat, why are we seeing rain 7 inches in an hour, why are we seeing this all over the world? Because we believe we're being affected by an outside force in the solar system. Can I say in total conclusion that I believe it's a rogue planet? No, I can't say that because I don't have enough information. But what I can tell you is we're seeing a lot of weird stuff up in the sky. What I can tell you is that we're having a lot of weird stuff happen. But these power outages are completely consistent with electromagnetic disturbances, guys. And those electromagnetic disturbances are going to continue. In my prediction, they're going to get worse over time. So it's really important for folks to have a way to cook food with a grill, or have an alternative way to store food other than your refrigerator. Just start being ready for not having electricity for periods of time. I really believe that we're going to be facing that. Again, on a regional basis. Here's a picture that I wanted to show you guys. I just wanted to go myself and look at the difference between what the sun looks like today in its weakened state and compare it to, say, a couple years ago, like 2013. I just pulled a random date, same day in 2013, a random year. And you can see, look at all the sun flares that used to happen on the sun. Look at that. Just gobs of them. One sun flare today on our sun. And that was like, everybody was like clapping and cheering. Why is the sun weakening? The Maunder minimum is legitimate. The cycles of the sun are legitimate. But the laws of thermodynamics do not allow the sun just to go dead on its own with no outside influence. And this has been my big argument with the Maunder minimum, folks, is to say there has to be cause and effect as it relates to electromagnetics. You can't just have something just going on and off. Now, could the center of our universe or center of our galaxy be causing some of this? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could this be cosmic? Absolutely. What do I think it's more likely? I feel like there are other objects in the solar system that are draining off of our sun. And most specifically, I believe there's a brown dwarf draining our sun. How close is it? I don't know. It's no closer than 10 AU. Then people will say to me, well, if it was within 10 AU of the Earth, wouldn't it be causing havoc? Really? We're only 1 AU away from a white dwarf called the Sun, Sol, and it doesn't cause havoc. Shut up. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut up. Yeah, I'm 1 AU away from a major star, and we live just fine with it, guys. So anything within 1 AU distance could be impacting us, but not necessarily causing like the kind of shattering stuff that you might think. And then finally, just wanted to take a little peek in on the latest real-time plots. The continued stretching of the polar caps continues. The weird anomalies continue. It's just been going on for a couple weeks now. But that rear pressure to the Earth is a little bit less than it has been. But there's our magnetopause on the bottom. Where's there a sun down here, guys? Is there a new sun that appeared below the Earth? Yeah. But anyway, so I feel like it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on the idea of a brown dwarf. You know what? I'm not. I'm just saying, here are my observations. What are your observations? What are you seeing? What have you looked at? What satellites have you looked at? What reports have you looked at? What science have you looked at? And if you've got something to say it in the comments below. But man, character assassination doesn't work with me, you guys. You take anybody that is trying to do the right thing, and anybody that's going to bring a message. The messenger gets shot a lot. That's just the way humans are. You shoot the messenger. The messenger didn't do anything wrong. The messenger's just bringing the message. Who cares how many times the messenger's been married? He's bringing a message. Who cares if the messenger is drunk? He's bringing a message. So let's start to think about how we can separate the message from the messenger and stop shooting messengers. All right? Love you all. Have a good day. Happy Sunday. Talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week next week. Lots going on. Take care.